guys, Gina here, and welcome to week 3 of my low carb journey, as well as my road to recovery with struggling with an eating disorder. So it is really like, how do I say? It is so surreal for me to actually sit in front of this camera and actually admit like what my issue is. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. So I am 32 years old and I have an eating disorder. I have bulimia. I binge eat and purge. But as of today, I am 22 days without incident, and I am so excited about that, you guys. So I will briefly touch in. I did lose another pound. I'm now down to 173.6, and I started this journey at, I think, 179, something like that. So I've lost about 6 pounds. But that's not what I want to focus today's check-in on. Today, I want to talk to you guys about food triggers and how to handle them, because with Halloween coming up, with Thanksgiving coming up, and Christmas, if you're someone who struggles with food addiction, maybe you overeat, maybe you are an emotional eater, the holidays are some of the worst times for us because there is food everywhere. Every gathering you go to, there's food, there's treats, there's cookies. It's everywhere, you guys. So I want to give you guys some tips on how you can, survive the holiday season with food triggers. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my first 2 check-ins with you guys below if you guys want to get caught up. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first tip that I have for you guys is when you're going to any type of celebration, maybe it's a birthday party, a holiday party, maybe like a small group gathering, maybe you're doing a gift exchange, a work party. If you are unsure of what is being served at the party, just eat before you go. That is the easiest thing you can do. But if you're going to like a birthday party or it's a family party, maybe you can ask the person who's hosting, like, hey, what are you serving? Maybe you can even ask, hey, can you throw something like low carb in for me, or whatever it is you're avoiding. Maybe ask them to have something designated for you, or simply just bring the dish yourself. So you can either eat before you go, or you can bring a dish for yourself, or bring your own food if you need to. Like, there are no rules when it comes to, going to a gathering or a party. Like, there's no written rule that says you have to eat what the host serves to you. That is never a rule, you guys. So never feel obligated to eat something out of, out of respect, I guess. I think that you being present at whatever event you're at is enough. My second tip for you guys is chewing gum. Chewing gum has been my best friend. And you guys, I am so sorry if I have been smacking my gum in my CVS videos or Walgreens, wherever it is. It's just because when I'm out and about now, I am always chewing gum because I have never realized how many surrounding smells there are everywhere. The drive-thrus, the smell of the fried food and the French fries, and then you go into the grocery store and then you have the aroma of all the bread, and then you go maybe into Starbucks and you have that like sweet smell when you're doing like Target shopping, and the popcorn and everything. So I found that constantly chewing gum, having something in my mouth, is enough to kind of make me feel like I'm eating, but I'm really not eating. I know this sounds ridiculous, but trust me, if you are in a situation like similar to mine and you're trying to get your food cravings and stuff under control, try chewing gum, because I'm telling you, it works. Something else that works for me too is either staying hydrated in terms of drinking a lot of water, or sometimes all I need is a diet soda. Getting those bubbles, the carbonation, and something a little bit sweet is definitely helpful. So I don't drink a whole lot of soda, but I will say this, the soda that you get from McDonald's, like the dollar sodas, I have to say, McDonald's Diet Coke, Fountain Diet Coke, tastes really good. A lot better than the like bottled ones you can get from the store. So my next tip is to carry approved snacks in your car and your purse. Have something at all times. And one of the easiest things for you guys to have if you are doing low carb is to have a little packet of like nut butter. I really like the Justin's almond butter. And then have like a package of like nuts in your car. So I have a package of Blue Diamond almonds in my car all the time. I also have like little to-go packets of almonds in my purse. So always have something, and I always have the salted ones because salted snacks always seems to like just get that craving out of the way for me. If I have something a little bit salty and crunchy, it is like the best thing you can do. So make sure you have snacks on you just in case you're like in an emergency and you need to have some snacks. For Halloween, be prepared. So Halloween season is going to be so incredibly difficult for me, specifically trick-or-treating, because I love candy. One of my favorite things to do is to buy a bunch of, you know, clearance Halloween candy and literally just sit on the couch and eat a bunch of candy, or filtering through all of my kids' candy. Like, I love candy. I've always been a candy person, and this is why I've gotten myself into trouble, is that I love it too much. So with me being on a low carb, low sugar, I have two fantastic options. And my favorite go-to is the Smart Sweets, the berry fish. Those are my favorite snacks of all time. I've tried a few different like sugar-free candies, and those are by far my favorite. I love the texture of them. I love the flavor of them. They don't have that like weird like sugar substitute like aftertaste. They are just so freaking good. So if you have not tried them, I'm gonna leave a link below for you guys to go ahead and shop. You get free shipping with my code. I would highly suggest you pick them up. They're also at your local Target now. So Smart Sweets has partnered with Target. So check out for Target Circle offers as well. And then Lillys chocolate. I'm a big fan of Lillys chocolate, specifically the dark chocolate. I don't like the milk chocolate because I find that there's like these weird like flaky things in the milk chocolate. I don't know what it is, but I do not like the milk chocolate. I only like the dark chocolate. So Lillys chocolate, you can have like half the bar for, I think it's like 4 net carbs, something crazy like that. So if you really wanted to and you really like just needed some chocolate, needed that sweet, you could have a whole bar of chocolate for like 8 grams of carbohydrates, which is not bad at all. So I will have a link for you guys below for Lillys chocolate as well. So definitely go into trick-or-treating and Halloween smart. So I'm gonna have my trick-or-treating snacks on me when I'm walking around the neighborhood, because I don't wanna put myself in a position to where I'm, you know, eating the kids' Halloween candy, because I do not wanna relapse. That is not something I have planned for myself. So, hey, anything here? This is my check-in. We're talking about food triggers.
Okay.
So I have a list of food triggers. Do you have any tips for the viewers on like how to avoid food triggers?
It's really important to plan ahead.
Plan ahead is good.
Planning ahead is pretty important because you want to stay away from temptation. The best way to set yourself up for success, like for instance, if you have a drinking problem, like it probably is not going to be a good idea for you to find yourself at a bar.
Right.
Like that's not the place for you.
Going to the sweet factory would not be a good idea for me.
Yeah, I mean, so you just want to kind of plan ahead to make sure you don't put yourself in bad situations.
Right.
That goes for places, and I think that also goes for people as well.
Yeah, I told them to, if you don't know what a party host is serving, to eat before you go, and don't feel obligated to eat stuff out of obligation to the host. Chewing gum is good. Carrying approved snacks in the car and in your purse. Drinking plenty of water. And having stuff you can have, like for me, the Smart Sweets and the Lillys chocolate.
Yeah, you also want to make sure that you're not a people pleaser. And if you are a people pleaser, kind of work on, you know, not caring as much about what other people think.
Yeah. Because
peer pressure is bad. Gina probably told me, I forget, Gina might have told me this, I forget how or when she told me this, but I think she said something along the lines of like the worst thing to tell somebody that's going through food issues is that, oh, it's no big deal.
Right. Right. Or you're at dinner with someone or at a party at someone and they say, oh, you can have one piece of cake, like it's not going to kill you. For me, that would be horrible for me, because once I get a taste of the cake, then I'm gonna want more. Like, I can't just have a bite of cake and be done. Chris, he's not one for sweets. Like, he would be fine with just a bite of cake and he's good. But me, I would want the whole cake.
Yeah, and so it's important, like, not only to be careful on like who you're around in terms of like what they do. Like, Gina probably wouldn't want to go to a restaurant where she's with people that are not as considerate, that are just eating a bunch of bread in front of her.
Right.
So not only that, but you also want to make sure the people that you're with, not only are they like not eating in front of you, but they're not telling you things like, oh, it's no big deal.
Or then be aware of what you're dealing with. If you're, dealing with an eating disorder like me, or if you're on a, lifestyle change that requires like a dietary change, like, make sure they know and make sure you're with people who are supportive of that.
You don't, because the last thing that Gina wants is for somebody to tell her that, oh, it's no big deal, just eat less. Because then in Gina's mind, she's thinking like, oh, well, maybe it is no big deal. Maybe I do have one bite. Maybe, because that's kind of, she doesn't want to fall back into the same cycle in terms of, she's kind of gotten to the point to where it's, for where she's at right now, like, it's not possible for her to have one bite or for one donut and then just like leave it at that, because, so planning, people, environment.
And if you are put in a situation to where you just can't avoid the fact that there are certain foods around you that are triggering you, just leave the room. I did that yesterday. His family was over, and both of his brothers are autistic. So they are very, routine on what they're eating. And we can't tell John, no, you can't have your chips. No, you can't have your burrito, because John's mind works differently. So we can't say, no, you can't have your cookies. And also at the same time, like, I don't want Chris's parents coming in here and me saying, oh, you can't have chips, or the kids can't have cookies. Like, the kids are kids, but I couldn't handle it. So I just went upstairs and just ate my food by myself, because if I'm sitting around all of it, then the temptation's in my head, and then I start thinking about it, and then I start planning, well, when Chris goes to bed, I'll just eat all the chips, or I'll just eat all the cookies.
I think another good tip would be to limit how much time you're being alone. Yeah. Is probably another good tip.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be like when you're with your own thoughts, it can be good. Like, if you're praying, or if the thoughts are positive, it can be good if you're reading. But then, when nobody's perfect, and sometimes your thoughts are not going to be that good, they're going to be negative for whatever reason. So you want to limit how much time you're by yourself, because...
And for our household now, it's an open door policy now, to where I'm not by myself with like the door closed. I know this sounds really like elementary, but we got to do what we need to do to make sure I'm not falling into bad habits.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can cut this out if you don't want to include in the video, but did you share how one of your viewers sent you an email about the...
Yeah, I did receive an email from a viewer, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, because that's her private message to me. But
the main point of me bringing it up is just talking about how, like, there's real consequences to...
Yes, there is real consequences, and you guys are really getting something from these videos, and that's been my whole goal from these videos all along. It's not to, promote like dieting and exercise. It's for me to really share with you guys a real raw issue. And I was in a seminar yesterday for mental illness in pediatrics, and the top fatal pediatric disorder was eating disorders. That was the #1 fatal disorder that is fatal to kids and teens.
That's the #1 thing that can kill teens, is eating disorders?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the main reason I was bringing it up is just because the viewer was describing in the email about how, you know, she was talking about her food issues, and she was talking about like the consequences that went along with it, and something that chronic problem that she has that she's not able to get rid of. And I think it's important to know, because years ago, back when I was first dating Gina, you know, I kind of caught her in the act, and you know, Gina was like, "Oh, well, there's no long-term consequences to, you know, to purging and throwing up and vomiting. You know, it's something that you can do, and you won't pay the price like later on in life." And she told me that, and then I just believed her.
Yeah.
But it turns out that there are, you know, real life consequences to doing it long term and for a long time.
Yep. But yeah, I'm looking through my notes from yesterday, and it's the largest mortality rate in pediatric mental illness. And in kids from 12 to 18, unfortunately, number 2 is suicide. Number 1 is like tragic accidents, like car accidents, but number 2 is suicide, and that was under like cancers and other things that kids can develop, like different diseases and stuff. But suicide was number 2, and it's really important because eating disorders are normally dual diagnosis with something else, some other type of mental illness. So whether if it's anxiety or depression. So, you know, if you're watching and struggling with anything, I'll go ahead and leave a link to a resource below for you guys to check out. And also the Celebrate Recovery is nationwide. So if you're not in the Lake Forest area, it doesn't mean that you can't find a meeting for yourself. So I will have a link below if you guys want to take a look at Celebrate Recovery.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
He decided to take a seat.
Yeah, my knees were getting tired. I'm getting old.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let me know some of your tips and tricks on how you avoid some food triggers. So food is all around us, and it's really easy to get triggered by it. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Halloween week. I want to know what you're going to be for Halloween this year. So I will talk to you guys later.